The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 is a very, very good tablet that Samsung has just made. So let's go and see how it holds up against the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 and see which specific tablet is the better one for you. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these tablets, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, I will tell you, if you do have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, it's a very good tablet. I think it's great. I think it's held up very well throughout the last couple of years that it's been out. But if you have all the money in the world, going up to the Tab S9 makes the most amount of sense to me. It's the current generation. It has lots of cool features built in. And that one is the one that I look at as the, behemoth of the best one that basically you could buy for the most part. So kind of keep that in mind in the back of your head. On the front of the Galaxy Tab S7, we have an 11-inch TFT LCD panel. Now, this was, I think, a good panel at the time back in 2020 when this tablet came out, but I don't really think this is the tablet that you should probably be looking at as the best paneled tablet. This thing has 120 Hz, which is really nice, and it's a very high resolution screen, and even the Tab S8's panel was pretty similar to this. In fact, some would say that the Tab S9's panel, in terms of the design, is very similar as well. It still has, very low bezel comparatively to other, devices and, compared to the Tab S9, but it's a good screen, it's a good panel. But definitely the display on the Galaxy Tab S9, which is a 11-inch dynamic AMOLED display, it's a far better panel in my opinion. Dynamic AMOLED is not a small thing. That is a very, very good type of display, and it is a better display for sure than the Tab S7. There's about 3 years, actually over 3 years of technology improvements between these two. So when you are thinking about it in terms of that, you are getting a better panel for sure on the Tab S9 than the Tab S7, and it's because it should be a better panel. You're spending more money, it's better parts, it's better everything, and it's definitely a better tablet on the Tab S9 than on the Tab S7. On the bottom, they both have USB-C ports. They both still maintain expandable storage, which is beautiful. I am waiting to see if Samsung is going to keep that microSD card slot on the Tab S10. I really hope they do that. But in terms of this, it's a very good type of display and a very good panel between both, which I'm very, very happy about. The build qualities are very similar, flat sides on both of them, and they both still hold up very well. The Tab S7 I think was a really big improvement, and that tablet still holds up very, very well, exceptionally well from that perspective as well, which I'm really happy to see. On the back, they both have this, kind of silver back, which is great. Now, the funny thing is, and I don't really understand why Samsung did this, they actually had a dual camera setup on the Galaxy Tab S7, but they did remove it for a single camera setup for the Tab S9. We'll talk about that in a second, but just keep that in mind. You have the S Pen capability on the back of both of them, so you can actually go through and just, slap the S Pen on the back, which comes in the box of both these, and you can use them as a stylus, which is actually a very cool thing. Like I said before, having these types of tablets that have this type of capability is really, really cool, and that in and of itself from that perspective is a really cool thing that I actually love seeing. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there on the outside. Now, a big thing, like I mentioned before, were the cameras. So with the Tab S7, you were getting that dual camera setup on the back, a wide angle camera and a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, you are getting just a single 13 megapixel wide angle camera. Now, does that necessarily mean that the camera quality is better on the Tab S7? Well, not quite, because we do have to look at the front. You are getting an 8 megapixel wide angle camera on the Tab S7. The Tab S9 had a 12 megapixel camera, but also when you look at the video resolutions we can film in, you had the capability of filming in higher resolution on the front camera on the Tab S9 at 4K at 60 versus 1080p at 30 on the Tab S7. But also on the back, you have the capability of 4K at 30 on the back of the S7, where now we have 4K at 60 on the back of the S9. So from that type of perspective, in my opinion, you are actually getting an overall better camera setup on the Tab S9, even though it has a little bit of a, not watered down camera, but because it has a less of a camera setup, it doesn't have as great of a camera, or it doesn't have an ultra wide camera like the Tab S7 does. That doesn't necessarily mean that is the better camera here. I do actually think that with the Tab S9, it is probably the one that's going to be giving you better quality, better capability, and it's the one that probably makes a majority of sense to me in my opinion. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, with the Tab S7, in terms of software longevity, this is a thing to keep in mind here. With the Tab S7, it's going to probably last in line with something maybe like a Galaxy S20, maybe like a Galaxy S21. It's definitely not going to be lasting forever, but the Galaxy Tab S9 is going to be the one that's going to last a longer amount of time than the Galaxy Tab S7. So that is a very big thing to keep in mind here as well. If you're wanting the Samsung Galaxy Tab that's going to last the longest amount of time, the Tab S9 is going to be the one that's better for you, in my opinion. That is going to be the one that's going to last the longest amount of time. And if you think about it this way, the Tab S7 has already been out for like so long, for over 3 years, almost 3 years now. With the Tab S9, it's just getting started. Like, this tablet has just came out, but even if you're watching this a year or 2 years from now, this tablet is still going to be supported. Even probably 3 years from now, when the 2 tablets have came out after this, you're probably still going to be at a tablet that is still supported with software, which is actually a really cool and kind of fun thing to see. So from that perspective alone, definitely thumbs up for me on the Tab S9, and probably one of the biggest assets to recommend, and probably one of the things to keep in mind when you're buying that tablet. Performance-wise, this is a big difference. So with the Tab S7, you were getting that Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset inside with 6 gigs of RAM on the base model, but it does go up to 8 gigs of RAM. With the Tab S9, on the other hand, you were getting that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside with 8 gigs of RAM on the base model, but that one does go up to 12. Now, from my opinion and from my perspective, you are getting a faster tablet and just a way better optimized tablet on the Tab S9 than on the Tab S7. This is a big difference. The Tab S7 pretty much matches in line with something like a Samsung Galaxy S20. But even if you're not even looking at the base model, like the base model of the Galaxy S20 is faster, I think, than the base model of the Tab S7 because of the RAM difference. On top of that, with the Tab S9, it is just so much of a better chipset. There's been lots and lots of improvements from the Snapdragon chipsets within the last couple of years. And it's funny because I would say even the 888 chipset that came out the year after the Tab S7 was a pretty big difference as well. But then we had the 8 Gen 1 and now we have the 8 Gen 2. These are very big differences and I'm really happy to see. So from that perspective, again, you are getting a faster chipset. Like, anything you were going to want to do, from heavy intensive gaming to video editing to office work to whatever you want to do, 3D modeling, whatever you're going to do on your tablet, you're going to be getting a way faster experience from your Tab S9 than the Tab S7, and that is exactly what's going to happen time and time again. So in my opinion, you are going to be getting a way faster chipset from the Tab S9 and just a way faster tablet on the Tab S9 than on the Tab S7 for a fact. So that's a big, massive thing to keep in mind there too. From the battery perspective, you were getting an 8,000 mAh battery on the Tab S8 on the Tab S7. With the Tab S9, you were getting an 8,400 mAh battery. So there's a slight battery increase on that device too, which is pretty cool, which is a really cool thing to see. So to kind of sum up this whole entire video, what I'll definitely tell you is the Tab S7 is a very good tablet. I think it's held up very well throughout the last couple of years. But the Tab S9 is just such a better tablet in almost every single way, and there really isn't any competition. You were getting a way better, tablet on the Tab S9 than on the Tab S7, and that's just something that kind of happens when you're getting a new tablet. That's just kind of how it goes. And I will definitely say the Tab S9 is a way better tablet for sure than the Tab S7 as of right now. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.